This week's coffee is going to be Peru, Café, Verde, Cusco, organic. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 181, and here we are again for the 181st time about to talk about a new coffee. These numbers kind of scare me every week. It scares me how much of my life must have been spent recording and editing and uploading and putting all the place it needs to go. It's quite scary when you look at it. And I guess that's only ever going to keep getting worse. But yeah, 181 times I have said, hello everybody and welcome to In My Mug, episode number 1 onwards. So yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about coffee because that's what we do on here. So this coffee is grown by 127 small holding farmers in the valleys of La Convención, which is in the Quebrada region near the town of Cusco in Peru's southern highlands. It's an area that is quite close to Bolivia, and because it's very close to Bolivia, it grows a lot of the crops that Bolivia grows. So, for instance, coffee and coca. But in Peru, coca is actually illegal, but people still grow it. So this is the most profitable alternative to growing coca. And it's, you know, something that I kind of think is really important we support as, you know, support a nation like this that wants to provide a crop that is not coca. So these small farmers are located in an altitude between 1100 and 1900 metres above sea level in the Andean valleys, as I said, around the region of Cusco. It's actually on the same Andean valley as all of the Bolivians that we get. So if you carry on down that spine, you end up in Machacamarca, in Loaiza, all those amazing places. In the area of Cusco, it's a tradition that, you know, these farms are family farms that have been passed from father to son, mother to daughter for like many years. So there's a big history of growing coffee from these producers. It's fully organic certified. There was a big push in Peru in the 1980s, 1990s to make Peru organic from the US. They spent a lot of money helping and a lot of input to get the organic certifications, and this is one of those. The harvest in Peru runs from March until August. Quite a long picking period, but again, this is because the differing altitudes and the different times of maturation of those cherries. And this gives you an idea of the size of the farms. On average, it takes around about 5 to 10 people to pick the farm, which that tells me they're quite small. It's a fully washed, submerged in water, proper traditional sense of the kind of word fermentation. So yeah, fully washed. Peru. Peru is somewhere I tend to not like much in the past. When I kind of hear that there's Perus on the table, I kind of shudder in the corner. And I'll be honest, I've probably tasted 40, 50 Perus, and out of those 40, 50 Perus, this is the only one that I would buy. This is the only one that I would drink. Yeah, I mean, we cupped it blind, so I didn't know what was coming, and I kind of thought, this tastes very Bolivian, but with a little bit more acidity, and lo and behold, it's on that Andean spine. So yeah, but it's a great coffee, and I hope we're going to enjoy it together in a moment. So let's go through the numbers. So say it's owned by 127 smallholder farmers. The varietals are Bourbon, Caturra, Catimor, Catay, and Typica. Because it's from all over, there's all sorts in there. It's a fully washed, sun-dried on patios, altitude of 1100 to 1900 metres above sea level, near to the city of Cusco, which is in the region of Yantayal, Calca, and very near to the La Convención kind of region too. So there are the numbers. This week, I'm not going to be able to do the map bit. I'm going to whap a map on now to show you where it is, but I'm not going to be able to do the whole map bit because I'm shooting off in a couple of hours' time to Dublin for the weekend to go and do another run because I'm still running like an idiot. And I'm just not going to I know I'm not going to have time and I don't want to do it badly. So a little bit of a map to give you the idea of where it is in Peru. And yeah, you can see that there. So I'm going to whap you on pause. I'm going to go make super quick drinks. And I'll be back with you in a second with those lovely tasty... Oh, I should do the Wheel of Death though, shouldn't I? Let's get the Wheel of Death out, but it's going to be a complete surprise. So what can the Wheel of Death be today? It's that. You see how planned I am? I'm rushed. I've got so much to do. I haven't packed, I haven't done anything. So, whap you on pause. I'll be back in a minute with what's on the Wheel of Death. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to dive straight into the espresso, give it a stir. It's a new stirring device. I've invented it. It's called a finger. It's ace. So, as an espresso, the predominant flavour I get with this is like black tea. So I get that kind of... I hate the word astringent because it's always used in a very negative way in coffee, but it's a little bit astringent, a little bit kind of like drying. But you get those black tea flavours, so big and bold flavours in there. A little bit of floral too, which I really like. Kind of reminds me very slightly of an Earl Grey. Oh, sorry, you'll have to excuse me. That is the timer giving me the pre-warning. 1 second, I'm nearly there. So, we went for the clever, because I'm clever. That was the Wheel of Death. I went out and randomly picked something. So, yes, espresso. So very, very like black tea, very like tannins, kind of, and a little bit of floral, a little bit like an Earl Grey, but none of that kind of bergamot stuff going on. The floral's there, but it's certainly not a bergamot, not like a Yerg or something like that. So, got to dive into the cap. So in the cap, you think this will get lost because of that floral kind of light, and it is quite light. But actually, I get the black tea coming through there, and the black tea sitting underneath really nicely. I actually prefer it to the espresso. I think it kind of, that's more my thing for milk. So the clever is nearly dripped through. Should we stop it there? We'll stop it there. So, into the mug. I like the Clever Dripper. I really need to do a brew guide on the Clever Dripper at some point, I think. It's quickly become one of my favourites. It's kind of like all the good things of French press. So I like that immersion brew, the way it sits, the water sits there in the coffee for a long time and it's immersed and you don't have to do quite as much stirring or agitation and it just works and it's clean. And so anyway, so this is where the florals take over from the black tea. It's just super light and delicate and just kind of dances around the tongue. This has been with us for 4 or 5 months and it's still tasting amazing. Like, still tasting amazing. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a really, really cool coffee. It's great to find something from Peru that I like and just not have that non-biased about one country just because, you know, it never tasted anything good. So, Peru, Café Verde, Cusco, organic. It's from 127 small holding producer farmers. The varietals are Bourbon, Caturra, Catimor, Catayi, Typica. And that's because they're the varietals in the area. I've no idea of percentages at all because it all comes together. It's a fully washed, submersed in water, dried on patios under the sun, altitude of 1100 to 1900 metres above sea level, near to the city of Cusco from the region of Yantil, which is the Calca and La Convenciana areas. Yeah, so there we go. Okay. Time to go, time to go. I keep bursting into song at the end of In My Mugs. I really need to stop that. Life is too short for